Well, a new Australian study in the journal Prevention proves life jackets save lives.
9 years ago, Australia made wearing life jackets mandatory for everyone on a boat. And since then, drowning deaths have dropped nearly 60%. Dr. Zorba Paster joins us from his clinic in Oregon. Hi, Zorba. Good to see you.
Hi. It's great to be here.
Well, that's a pretty convincing statistic that life jackets save lives.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting because if we think about seatbelts, and when we first started having seatbelts in cars, they were elective, whether or not they were in the car. Then they became elective, whether or not you wore them. Then they became mandatory, and then we've seen, of course, a tremendous drop in car deaths because of seatbelts. Maybe we should do the same thing for water injuries and drowning. Certainly, it's something worth considering as a society. And they showed it really makes a difference.
There are 350 boating-related drownings in the U.S. every year. Why don't you think there's more of a push for this?
Yeah. I'm not really sure. If we look in Wisconsin, there are 60 drownings a year, and about 50 of those drownings are from boating. And I think it's because people really don't think much about it. They go out on the boat and they don't realize that if they can't swim, if they've had something to drink, if there are children on the boat and they're really not paying attention, that they can actually drown. 50 a year are a lot of drownings in the state, and we could drop that number precipitously, just like they did, by wearing the proper life preservers. So I've got a few here, and I've got some that are very interesting. First of all, you've got the children's size life preserver, right? Children's size. Wonderful, very good for kids. Every kid in a boat should have a life preserver, period, especially under the age of 12, very important. Every child in Wisconsin, if they're going to go on a boat, should learn how to swim. Adults should also. Then we've got the bigger one for adults. But I'll tell you something that's really interesting. This particular life preserver that I'm going to show now fits into this little bag, and you can wear this on your belt. And they're wonderful things because here it is, you put it on your belt, it's not overused so that it's hot, you're sitting in the boat and you're having the life preserver on you. When you go in the water, the CO2 cartridge automatically inflates it, or you can inflate it by blowing into this nifty tube. These are wonderful things. Yes, they cost $100, but having a boat always costs money, and having these on a boat and on your belt on a boat can really save lives. I highly recommend the belt life preserver. I think it really works.
And you shouldn't necessarily be overly confident just because you're a good swimmer, right? I think some people figure, I can swim, I'm not going to have a problem.
Oh, believe me. I've been in a boat on Lake Mendota, wonderful boat, little boat with a friend of mine, a little rowboat, and all of a sudden a speedboat came charging by not too far from us, and all of a sudden it went bouncy, bouncy, and we were just holding on to it to keep the boat in place. If that thing had tipped over and we were in the water, again, you never know what's going to happen. Life preservers save lives. They've shown it in Australia. We should move forward in Wisconsin. Everyone should have a life preserver on the boat at all times.
All right. Dr. Zorba Paster, thanks for being with us today. Stay well.
Pleasure.
Good to see you, Zorba.